Home shopping can be a fun and exciting experience, but let's face it, it's probably going to be the biggest investment you and I will ever make in our lives. In this video, I'm going to go over the 5 biggest red flags you need to keep your eyes open when shopping for your new home. Hey everyone, I'm Nick Sundahl with Aikta Homes, and this is Minneapolis Living, a channel dedicated to those looking to relocate here to the Twin Cities metro area of Minneapolis and St. Paul, and those looking for real estate advice, whether it comes in the form of market analysis, education, tips, tricks, and the like. So if that's you, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you're alerted when I upload new content. Today's video is all about the 5 biggest red flags you need to keep your mind on when shopping for your new home. So let's get into it. A red flag I'm always looking for is outdated electrical. If you find yourself at the electrical box and you open it up to a breaker system, chances are you're in just fine shape, especially if it's been well organized and decently installed. However, if you open up that panel door and you find fuses and see knob and tube wiring throughout the home, well, you might be in for some issues. Knob and tube wiring is no longer to code and can pose a major fire risk. Also, replacing this can be a pretty penny. So unless this home is in an outstanding area with a really great deal attached to it, taking on outdated electrical can be, well, dicey. Another red flag is how somebody treats their heating and cooling system. Let's start off with heat. There are 2 ways you can do this. One is through forced air, which would be a furnace. Others would be a boiler system. When you're taking a look at that furnace, pull out the air filter. If it's been replaced recently, that's a good thing because it means that the homeowner is staying on top of it. Typically, there will also be a maintenance schedule attached to the furnace, some kind of sticker where they have a service provider come in and date when that's done. If they don't have that up there, ask for it. They should be able to provide you with a scheduled maintenance checklist of when that furnace has been serviced. Also, take a look at the whole home air filter. These filters aren't necessarily, disposable. However, they should be cleaned more often than most people take them out to do so. They're easily done, but it's something to look at. Now, if people aren't replacing these or aren't cleaning them, it doesn't necessarily mean they're in bad shape. It just means that it could be a telltale sign of how they treat the rest of the home. Now, when it comes to the boiler, the one thing you really want to take a look at are the couplings around the boiler. Do you have a lot of mineral deposits from the water going in and out of the boiler system itself? And what kind of maintenance system do they have going on there? Now, when it comes to the cooling or your air conditioning, if it's the middle of winter, well, that's going to be a little harder to check, but you want to take a look to see if there are any debris that's collecting around the air conditioner, and you also want to get a maintenance checklist or a maintenance schedule of when that's been serviced. Those filters, how things are cleaned, how tidy it is in the mechanical room itself goes a long way to tell you whether this is a red flag, a yellow flag, or hopefully a green flag. One of the most uncomfortable red flags I run into when shopping for a home are the evidence of pests. Look, the adage is this: it's not if pests get into your home, it's when. Anybody in a cold climate situation like we have here in Minnesota will know that insects will be in your home year-round, potentially. And guess what? Those rodents or other varmint need to go in for warm weather somewhere. Getting evidence of pests in your home is a major red flag. However, it's not the end of the world. You want to take a look to see what kind of cobwebs might be in the mechanical room or up and around windows. Are there cracks around the foundation? Are there tufts of hair or mouse traps sitting in dark under the stairs or in the mechanical rooms? And God forbid if you've seen a snake skin shed, which I've run into myself, you actually have to wait until summer for it to be removed. All these things are doable, but they can become a major red flag because they are getting in somewhere, and you're going to need to find out where that is before actually purchasing the home. The next red flag is probably the most obvious one, and frankly, it's one of the easier ones to catch. Now, when I give you these examples, it doesn't mean that there is water intrusion into the home or that it hasn't either been fixed or isn't easily fixed, but signs of water intrusion are pretty easy to spot. And let's start in the lower levels of homes near either foundation or in basements. More often than not, you're going to get some kind of water seepage into your home through a foundation, especially if you have a lot of grading that goes towards the home. Now, if you combine small cracks with signs of water, whether that's discoloration in the block, it could be the water or the mineral deposits left behind by water, or if you see actually a drainage system that has been installed after the home was built, along with a sump pump, that could lead you to the idea that they get water into their home more often than not. The second way to look at water or where it comes in the home is typically in the upper or the top floor ceilings. You'll see discolorations, and you'll see it usually on the outside edges of walls or where the exterior wall is. Typically from roofs, bad roofs or faulty roofs, roofs that have had ice dams over the winters, and water has then seeped in and leaked, and you'll see discoloration. If you see homes that have had maybe the ceiling that's been cut out and replastered or refinished, but it looks a little bit off, that might be a sign for water intrusion, and you want your inspector to get maybe an infrared kind of shot on that to make sure that there isn't moisture inside the ceiling. Water damage can be a major issue, but overall, it can also be easily avoided and with some very simple things to be done on the home. Hey, if you're finding value in this video, I would love it if you hit the like button. It really helps the video get out to more and more people just like you. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I will do my very best to answer each and every one of them. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe. My final red flag is location. Yes, location drives property values. And that's why this is such a red flag, because as I mentioned at the very beginning, a home purchase is probably one of the biggest investments either of us will ever make in our lives. And so you want to take into account where the home is located. Looking up and down the street of the subject property, do the other homes look like they've been maintained well? Does one or three houses have multiple cars in the driveway and landscaping that hasn't been touched in 2 years? Or do they look dilapidated? A lot of times that can lead towards more rental units maybe be in the neighborhood than you would feel desired, which can drive down home prices. And also, how is the house located on the piece of property? So are there lots of trees that haven't been trimmed? Do you have grading issues that go towards the home, which, as I just mentioned, could cause water damage? So location of the property, not just, or the location of the building, not just on the property, but in the neighborhood as a whole, can be the biggest red flag of them all. Those are my 5 biggest red flags when home buying. If you are starting the home buying search, please give me a call, text, email. You can slide in my DMs on social media, but I would love to start that conversation. Thanks so much for watching. This is Minneapolis Living, and I'll see you next time.